hide. Climb that hill, no problem. Hey everybody, coming at you from out in the woods. Now, before you cut the video off and say, oh no, another bike video. This ain't just a bike video, all right? And I have my brother behind the camera this time. Say hi, Jim.
Hi.
All right, because Nick is working all the time, so hopefully my brother will be with me more often. But anyway, I do things on video, and sometimes they don't work out, and people make suggestions, and then later on I modify them, and sometimes they get forgotten about. But then times like this, we're going to test the mods on video. All right, now I changed a lot on this bicycle. This is not the one with the big trailer. This is the one that had a little narrow trailer with the narrow wheels. And people have suggested that I make saddlebags to get the weight down a little lower, so I did. And I also changed the gears on the bike. We're going to get into that so that I can hill climb. There's a radical change in here. And if y'all remember my outdoor kitchen and grill, remember the smoke pouring out of it? I made some mods on it, and it was the idea of a commenter. And so we're going to set that up too and try that. So, all right, we're ready to take a look at this bike real quick, and then I'm going to talk about the saddlebags and the trailer. Then we're going to unhook it. We're going to try to climb some hills. All right, you ready for this, Jimmy?
Yep.
All right, let's go. All right, now to start with, if you'll notice something to the trained eye on bicycles, you'll see this is radically different. So now this is the original, because you want speed when you're on a sidewalk or a road or something, but when you're either pulling a trailer or trying to climb a hill, you don't. You want to pedal to barely move. Now this is the original size that was on there, and since this bicycle is a 90s model, they don't make anything for this bike anymore, and they certainly don't make anything this small. And there's another gear this small back here, but I did the math and calculated on the tooth spacing, and I made 2 sprockets, and it actually worked. And then I made this little cover. Now on the back here, look at the size of this beauty. I was actually able to buy this. I didn't have to make this, but to show you the difference, this is the original that was on it. Isn't that awesome? And while I was at it, I bought, these are Shimano Altus wheels. The other wheels were steel. These are a lightweight aluminum. And these also have the quick change hubs on them so that I can pull them off and change the tires. And I bought some soft compound, very, very grippy off-road tires with puncture-proof tubes. And then I made this extension to bring this derailleur down. So this thing is about at the max right here. It's still got a little bit of room here.
What does derailleur mean?
The derailleur is what changes from gear to gear to gear to gear. That's this thing. It's called a derailleur. See, these 2 bolts, it used to be mounted up here, but I had to make an extension because this giant sprocket right here. So now I've already messed around with this a little bit, and it ain't going to pull a trailer up a hill, especially a trailer carrying 85 pounds. So the idea is to take this thing to camp, unhook the trailer, and then I can do my exploring by bicycle. And as you can see, pan around to the camo paint job. The other bike with the big trailer is olive drab, and it's for flat ground. This is for the woods and the hills and where there's not many trails, so I camoed it. All right, so let's take a look at this trailer here next. All right, now let's take a look at this trailer back here. Now, those of you that will remember before, this thing was a trailer with 2 narrow wheels. Now, on the top, I can either have my backpack or I can have a duffel bag. This is a duffel bag because it contains the outdoor kitchen and grill that we're going to test. So, that thing is bungee corded on in the front. And what's really cool is by some miracle on the back here, the way these stobs are made, you can force the handle of the duffel bag on. Isn't that cool? It just happened to work out right. So let's take this duffel bag.
You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say you designed it that way.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to say I designed it like that. So now with this thing, the way this thing is made is I could, if I really wanted to be low to the ground, I could either wear the backpack or put a small backpack on here and just use these side saddlebags here. Now before we take that off, I want to show you exactly how much room is in there. I mean, it's amazing. So let's pull this tarp out. And I'm gonna unzip it right before your eyes. I'm gonna show you how much stuff is in here.
You sewed all that together, didn't you?
I made this. This is a piece of olive drab cloth, and underneath it is a very, very heavy ripstop vinyl, so that this can just sling mud all over it, however it wants. And I added these bars here to support this and keep it off the wheels. But it's a funny thing, I was throwing away a couch. This is some ACU material I had left over, and I was throwing away a couch, and I kept the zippers off the cushions, and I sewed them in here. But anyway, so let's take a look right here now, okay? Now remember, these are just the saddlebags, but I can have my backpack right here. All right, so let's look and see what's in this one saddlebag. I'm gonna start unpacking all this right before your eyes, uncut, so that you can see what this thing carries. Canteen. All right, now look at all that. All that fit in one side. Now let's look at the other side. Let's unzip this. I think it's amazing because these don't look like a lot. Look, I'm gonna pull everything out and set it on the top, and then we'll throw it over there. Look at all this.
Hey, what's that little bag in between the wheels down there?
Oh, it's got tools in it. I like
Oh.
that. That's cool. All right, so we got that one completely unzipped. Look, there's 4 quarts of water, all kinds of tarps and blankets and kits and all kinds of things in here. Towels, bivy sack, orange signal panel, sleeping bag liner, emergency shelter. Now look at all that. Could you imagine having the capacity just off the saddlebags? And look at all that. Isn't that incredible?
There's no other way to carry that much stuff in the
No.
woods, is there?
No. On top of carrying this on top of a duffel bag or a backpack. Now, the way this thing comes off, I can still just have a backpack on here if I want to. Let's lift this up. On the back here, I got a Fast-Tex buckle. And I use a Fast-Tex buckle on the back because that way I know what's front and what's back. And up here, I have a Velcro strap. And see, this just comes right off. Now, the other part of the beauty of this, since the entire underneath of it is a ripstop vinyl, if I have to, look, if it's all raining.
Is that waterproof?
Yes, that is waterproof and it is very, very tough stuff. Let's lay it on the ground. Look at that right there. I got a nice dry place to see it. Isn't that cool? Now.
You're a freaking genius.
Thank you there. Now, let's look at this to see what the other capacities are here. Oh, and then I have a little kit right here. Later on, this will be where the bicycle tools and the tire repair kit will be. So let's undo this bungee cord. And let's undo this bungee cord.
You could put a rope on that thing.
Yeah, you probably could. And I see this, I'm taking advantage of putting the heavy stuff low down to the ground. So inside here, a couple of Fast-Tex buckles here. Now I'm going to wax this bag here to make it waterproof. I haven't waxed it yet. So we have a machete and a knife. We have...
That wasn't sarcastic either. You really are a genius.
Thank you.
I'm not one of those brothers that thinks their brother's a dummy or nothing.
And an entrenching tool, or what most campers call a shovel. And then we have a bow saw.
That's also a weapon.
Yeah, it's also a weapon.
You know those the Russians, those Spetsnaz guys, they sharpen the side of them and they kill each other with them.
Oh yeah, you can sharpen that up and make a heck of a weapon.
Well, they don't kill each other. They
kill the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, look at all that. All that right there on the trailer. Isn't that awesome? That's so cool.
Oh, you know what? I've actually got a Spetsnaz shovel like that. It is sharpened. I came from Russia.
I didn't know
It doesn't fold like that. It's always out, but it's about that size, and it is a great weapon.
That's awesome. And as you can see, the whole outfit is camouflaged so that whenever I park it at camp, it'll blend in. All right, so what we want to do next, I'm going to take this thing off. I think we're going to do some hill climbing next. Now, for those of you that hadn't seen this before, this thing has got two joints instead of, because the wheels are so narrow, if I just had one trailer hitch, this thing would fall over. But this thing, the way it's made, see, it pivots like this right here on this top bar. But anyway, when I go to unhook it, let's say that I'm at camp, all right? I got my camp set up, everything's there, and I want to go exploring. So I'm going to undo this wing nut here, and then this thing comes right off, just like that. And I'm just going to roll it on over, probably lay it over so that it'll be disguised, or I could set it up and use it for setting things on to keep it off the ground. So let's put this on here. Now, I have left it on the lowest gear on the back, but I got 2 gears on the front, and I'm going to go ahead and switch it. We're going to go up and down the trail just a second and switch that. As soon as I get this on, I got a little bit of dirt on it.
How many speeds is this thing now?
It is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a 20 speed. Because for each of these is 10 speeds.
But it's 20 different speeds.
It. Yeah, well, if you change it in the front, it changes the ratio.
Like a normal 21 speed bike would be completely different ratios than what you got.
Right. And they've got much, much bigger in the front here. All right. So what I'm going to do, I think it's this front one. Yeah, let's switch this. Let's see if I can get this thing to change. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over by hand. Yeah, that ought to work. All right, let's see if this thing will do this massive hill. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
I'm popping a wheelie. Oh, see, I fall over because I'm going so slow. I'm going so slow I can't steer. I'm going to have to really get up some motivation.
I never thought about that wheelie thing.
All right, now a minute ago I tried to go up that hill there, and it's almost impossible because, I don't know, maybe it's all the leaves and the pine straw, but that was actually too high of an elevation. Now, if you look here, this is it's still an elevation, but it's not quite straight up. And I noticed when I tried to go up that other one, it's like the front wheel was coming off the ground and I couldn't steer. So, you know, maybe in the future I'll have to put a saddlebag on the front and that'll help. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to go up this hill and I'm going to kind of lean forward to keep the front wheel on the ground so I can steer. So we're going to leave the camera right where it's at so you can see how much of an elevation I'm going up. Yep.
That was better. If you hadn't stopped at that tree, you could have kept going.
I couldn't steer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's try one more hill.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty steep hill I went up. Wasn't it?
Yep.
Are you recording still?
Yeah.
All right. Now, finally, we got a good shot. So, yes, I got to work on my technique. But another thing I think instead of putting anything here, I'm going to put some weight up on the handlebars. Because my main problem, I can pedal. Yeah, it makes me out of breath. I can pedal, but the front end lifts up and I can't steer and I go one way or another.
How about the gearing? Is it too low?
Nah, because it's a...
Did it feel right?
See, it's easy to pedal. You just have to pedal a lot. So...
I mean, that was a pretty good ways you went that time.
Now, as far as just going through the woods like this thing's a burden. All right, enough of that bicycle. Let's get on with the grill. I think I pretty much proved that the bicycle can work. But like I said, I got to put some weight on the front, and I got to get in a little better shape.
It does work.
Yeah, it does work. It's just I'm gonna have to learn how to use it, and we can't fill up an hour of me riding up a hill.
I mean, it's not like it broke.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it held up. It held up good. Anyway, and it can definitely. The main thing, I'm gonna try to avoid hills, but the main thing is it can go through the woods easily where there's no trail, because the other bike kind of struggles through the woods over logs and leaves and things. But anyway, people that haven't seen this last time, what you do is you pick up a couple of logs. You can cut them if you want to, but you pick up a couple of logs and tie them to a couple of trees here. So what this is, I got 2 pieces of stainless steel tubing, all right? And this is a serving tray that I found on the side of the road. All right, it's literally what this is, and then I made a grill for it.
Now, is it stainless steel?
Yeah, stainless steel. Now, I got to show you a few things here. I'm going to show you just as it was. Now, I didn't want to put holes in the bottom. People are like, oh, you got to put holes in the bottom because the fire's got to breathe. And there's 2 things that causes smoke. One is incomplete combustion, and the other is bark. If you'll debark wood, it won't smoke as bad. But anyway, what you do with this is you set it on there, you set it on there. All right, and that'll hold the grill right in place. And then I had a couple of pieces of stainless steel here that I shoved up against it to use as like a little tabletop. Now, me and Nick cooked on this one time, if you'll remember, which was a lot of fun. Now, the way this worked before is I threw the wood in and threw the grill on, and I'm not real sure. I think just having logs down in there, it was stifling itself for combustion, or should I say for airflow. All right. Now, bring that thing in just a little bit, and I'm gonna show you what I made for it.
You know those grills that you cook with, they have a lot of holes, like right there.
Right, but the thing is for like if it's, say, like now, everything is a tinder box. Everything is dry, and I don't want a bunch of stuff falling through those holes catching the ground on fire. So what I did is I made this thing. I bent this out of stainless steel mesh. And as you can see, this goes in the bottom, but it stands off by about 2 inches, which is cool. And then I've got this thing that's cut at an angle. And can you see this right here? Can you see it from there?
Yeah, you can see it pretty good.
What it is the wood is going to go in, and it's not going to touch. So this is going to have a place to where this fire, if it wants to draw air in, it's not blocked by wood. It'll draw it in and under the fire.
And nothing will fall out and hit the ground.
Right. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to try that. And then I got a tea kettle we're going to put on top. So we're going to try it with just the fire to see if it smokes. And then we're going to put a tea kettle on it that's going to block a lot of the rise of the heat and the flames, and then we're going to see how that does. So hopefully this will fix it. If not, I guess I'm going to have to do something with some holes of some kind.
It sounds like a good idea.
Well, let's try it. I'm going to go get my bow saw. We're going to get a pile of firewood. All right, we got us some stuff here to make a fire, and the wind is kicking up pretty hard, so we're going to find out here how this does. So let's try to get this started. I made a quick little feather stick here.
Is that what you call that?
Yeah, they call them a feather stick. It's not a good looking feather stick. Can you see down inside here?
Yeah, you can see pretty good.
All right, now I'm gonna start putting some of this small stuff in here. Try to get this thing going, and then we're gonna put the big stuff on.
So is this the first fire you've ever made?
Yeah, this is the first fire I've ever made. See, I just picked up some twigs and stuff off the ground here, and hopefully this will get it all going. And then we'll put the bigger stuff on. Normally you want to pick up the stuff that's like off the... Now see how this is smoking? That's because these twigs are half wood and half bark. See all that smoke? That's why once we get this thing going, we are going to have all this wood in here that doesn't have bark on it.
That's a great smell, ain't it?
Yeah, I love the smell of wood burning.
Have you ever tried to start a fire with that funky thing where you move it back and forth, and it's 2 pieces of wood. You know, where you put a string around it and you do that back and forth.
Yeah,
back
bow
and forth.
drill. Yeah, of course. I've done that a bunch of times. I've done it on video.
How long does it take to actually get it going?
About a minute if all the wood's dry.
Yeah. Oh, that ain't bad.
We'll do it sometime this winter. You and me will. All right, let's put some of this on here now. And then we're going to get this fire going. Now see, all I did is I took my knife and I made a few little feathers, got them going, and then laid twigs on top.
Did you ever start fires in our wood stove when we were little kids?
Dad always did it.
No, I did it too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did it all the time.
Nah, since you were older, Dad always let you do it. I didn't do it. All right, so we're going to set this here, and we're going to let this fire go. Now, see? Can you see that pull?
Yeah, you can sit real good.
Go ahead and unattach that thing. No. Look, no, not that. The little clip on the back. That thing. Just lift it up, yeah. And so I want you to come over here and get a view. Come over here to the side right here. I'm gonna move this. Now see what I'm talking about? See how this wood is laid up against this? See, the wood normally will lay up against all this stuff. All the way against the wall.
It's gonna take a long time though for that to get down to those, what do you call it? The little red pieces?
Coals, yeah. But see, this right here, this is held up. There's airspace underneath it. And see, the wood's laying against this. And see, that's the idea behind this thing, is it allows, there's airflow right here.
Was it smoking before real bad?
Yeah, it was smoking bad.
There's not hardly any smoke on that.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. But see, now once it gets going, I'm going to kind of push it down to the side, and we're going to put this on there. So we're going to let that go for like 5 minutes, and then we'll cut you back on. Fire's still going, and we got nothing but flames right there, and that's wonderful. There's very, very, very little smoke. Let me see if I can move this thing forward, and I'm going to see. We're going to look right here. And see, here's where that metal is right there. Now, if you'll see, there's very, very little smoke coming up here. The one little bit of smoke I see is coming up over here, and it's actually coming up over here where there's no wood over on the sides. This is pure flames. I wish there was a way that I could tell if I had a draw right here.
There is no smoke.
None. None.
All it is those fumes, like when
in
summertime rising off the ground, you know, like on the road.
Yeah.
That's it. There is no smoke at all. So
all right.
It's working perfect.
Well, come over here and grab his camera. I'm going to put the grill and the water on. Because see, now what I'm doing is, this is a big old kettle. This is a big old kettle here. Oh, it's so hot, I can hardly touch it.
Hell, I can feel it all the way over here.
Yeah, now see, the idea is, this is such a big kettle that it's going to disrupt the flow of air. So let's see what that does. And I think last time when me and Nick was cooking on this thing, I think what it did is
that's a hell of a flame.
Yeah, it is. Let's see if that... But anyway, now I don't want to put the kettle on top of this thing.
You know what? You need some of them really long leather gloves, like welding gloves, when you're doing that.
Well, usually I wear the Nomex flight gloves.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't bring them this time because we weren't really going to be cooking. We're just going to be testing.
Do you know the Kevlar version of them has got an extra 200 degrees above the Nomex?
No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
They're better.
That's cool. I'm going to have to remember that.
I think they go up to 800, I think. I'm not sure if it's quite that high, but it's pretty high.
Now look at that. Where's the smoke?
Yeah.
Now this is absolutely a success.
I mean, I don't see any smoke.
No, and I'm telling you, last time when me and Nick did this, there was so much smoke you couldn't even stand near this thing.
That's a very good solution to protect the ground and keep forest fires from happening.
And see, the whole idea behind this was going to be for, like in a swamp, if you're on a kayak, carry this with you, or if the ground's real dry. Not to mention, if you just plain want to be, you know, up off the ground and have like a place to put pots and pans and things.
Yeah, putting the holes in the very bottom of that, you would have had to have put a whole new stainless steel plate to protect the ground under it, which would, what made it a lot heavier.
Yeah.
And it would have had to have been bigger than that whole thing, you know, to make sure that nothing fell out.
Yeah. Man, that is great. Like I said, smoke, the number one thing that smoke is incomplete combustion. And bark adds to smoke. And all I'm seeing is flames here, so, I mean, this ain't even going down the coals yet.
Hey, doesn't green wood smoke a lot?
Yeah, it can, but we try not to use green wood. We pick the stuff up off the ground or trees that have fallen over and saw them up with a bow saw. Well, I think this is absolutely a success, without a doubt. This is awesome.
And you only needed it on one side.
Yeah, one side, because it gives room. Instead of blocking this all off, I got air being pulled in here and under the fire.
Well, you think about it, when you use a grill at your house, all it has is that front little thing you rotate, and it doesn't have one on the back.
Right.
So it only needs one on the front, if you did something like that.
And it ain't the bottom either. It comes in from the side. And in a sense, that's what this is doing. That is awesome. We ain't got a lick of smoke. This is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful.
I know, the only thing is a little bit of steam coming out now.
Yep. See, whenever me and Jimmy get some free time when the weather starts cooling off, we're going to bring this with us and we're going to do an overnighter and we're going to cook a good meal on it.
Yeah, we ought to go over by the river and do it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'll cook whatever you want. Because usually I'm used to feeding Nick. All right, we are more than steaming now. No smoke. That is wonderful. That is fantastic. See how this thing pours.
I mean, you knew that would probably work. I mean,
no, I didn't.
I mean, yeah, but I could tell by looking at it, it was going to work.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. All right, that makes me extremely happy. Well, all right, that was a definite success. So, all right, anything you want to add?
That's a lot easier than riding a bike.
I know,
right? Oh yeah, we should tell them that it was 115 out here today with 99% humidity.
I've been telling them that for a couple of months. But anyway, and I'm 57 years old, and you know, there's a big difference in trying to ride a bike up a hill through the wilderness, through sticks and stones and things. But I think, like I said, I think if I can get a little bit of weight on the front, I think that's going to be different. Because I got to notice, and every time I lost control of that bike, it was because the front end was lifting up, because I was going up a hill.
And you're an out-of-shape slob.
And, an out-of-shape slob, yeah.
Those guys that ride those bikes up mountains, they are pumping like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Their legs going up them things, if you watch them.
But the thing is I couldn't get going pumping, because as soon as I was going up the hill, the front tire would come off the ground and it would go over to the side.
They're in really good shape too.
Yeah, they are. That helps.
And most of them are probably in their 20s or younger.
I know. I promised my doctor that I was going to start exercising more, which I am. So anyway, all right. I hope y'all enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun with these tests. It was cool. I love the new trailer with the saddlebags. Whenever I can't use the big trailer in the bike, I'm going to use that one for like where there's no trails, because it does go through the woods great, but just extreme hills, nah.
You know what I promised my doctor?
What?
That I would never do anything to extend my life.
What does that mean? You're gonna hang around me more often?
It means I'm not taking Lipitor.
Okay.
I don't care if my what do you call that? Cholesterol.
Yeah. Well, I'm not worried about my cholesterol, because I'm gonna start exercising.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, the sugar thing is the most important
yeah,
thing.
it is. Yeah. Try to eat healthy. All right. Well, take it easy. Enjoy life. We had fun. We hope you had fun, and we shall see you in the next one. I'm gonna get here.
It's already going. You want me to stop it?
No.
Okay.
Let it record. Now, are you getting everything in shot?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna smile for a minute. Now move the camera that way about a foot.
Okay. Without stopping
yeah,
it?
just move it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go through all of those.
You want to see which one's the best?
Yeah. All right.
I can't see your face or anything, what you're doing. I'm just trying to get it all centered, you know. You mean move again?
Move it over that way, bud. Now, do you think you need to go lower for a few?
No, it's got everything perfect. You're right in the middle. Everything's perfect.